Yes. Yes. Happy Monday. We are here. Oh, let's play the theme music, baby.
Hey. Ooh. Yeah.
Cosmic Orange Oracle. We have been hanging out and eating lasagna alongside of him ever since.
Yes, come dive into this lasagna with us, fellow Garf Army, as we explore the spider-hating, lasagna-loving tarot card that this comic truly is. This
is Mystic Lasagna.
Lasagna.
Oh, yeah, jumping right in. Happy Monday, friends.
Happy Monday, and happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Garfield's favoriteest day to be alive and awake. Paul, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Alex. Thanks for asking me. I am excited that we're here on Monday with this good Monday energy, and that we have a guest today as well. Emmy-nominated TV writer and producer, Joey Clift, comedian Joey Clift, everyone.
What's up?
How's it going, everybody? I gotta say, I'm sorry if I'm a little bit slow this morning. As you do on Mondays, housed an entire pan of lasagna immediately before getting on this show.
Gotcha.
So, feeling a little bit logy, but I think that I'm ready to talk about all things Garf.
Hell yeah. I think that's part of like this that's being a morning show is that like everyone's allowed to like weirdly peek out of their lumpy blanket bed, right? And
I do sleep in a box, so yes, I peek out of my box. I look at the giant calendar that's next to my box bed, and then I'm like, oh, Monday
again. Head on a swivel for pies.
Head on a swivel for pies. There's a giant yellow dog that lives in my house that I kick off of a table, and I'm just like, oh, is my kicking leg ready?
Ready to go. Wouldn't show. I feel like I would watch more morning shows if people were like, hey, what's going on? Just woke up, ready to go. Oh man, everyone doing okay? How's everyone in the
Al Roker with a cigarette?
All right,
fucking pissed off.
Yeah, on the Today Show, Al Roker is just like, hey, sorry if I botched a little bit. I just crawled out of bed 7 minutes ago.
Yeah. You guys, you know me, Al Roker. I was just raging last night. just hip deep in prostitutes. It's oh god. Anyway, here comes the parade or whatever.
Yeah.
Our first story's on Advil and how it's just it's good stuff. It's really good stuff.
Yeah. Can you turn that stage light down? It's giving me a real bad headache.
Yeah. So that's us,
I'm not going to read the news today. Can you just play some music so I can just vibe for a little bit?
30 minutes of a close-up on Al Roker smoking a cigarette while music plays. That's the morning show for me.
I would love that.
That's that Garfield morning show. I want to see that. Yeah, I want Garfield to be in charge.
That is big Garf energy for sure. Well, I mean, again, Joey, thanks for being here. You're looking excellent in your, I think you said before the show, custom Garfield tee.
Oh yeah, this is a Garfield ribbon sweater. So it's really neat. It was made by a friend of mine. I only wear it for special occasions every Monday. So very excited to bring this out for all of you.
Wait, is it reflective? Is it?
Yeah,
is it a safety sweater?
So the ribbons are reflective. It's it's a ribbon shirt. Ribbon shirts are it's a specific native thing. I'm in no palettes, but it's kind of finery that a lot of native folks wear for native events. And so I'm wearing it on this show. I've got a Garfield custom ribbon shirt.
That's awesome.
Excellent. I feel that's big magic that you've brought on the show, and I appreciate that. It's a magic that we have not gotten before, which is very, very cool.
Look, every Monday is magic. I'm just saying it,
Yeah. Well, speaking of magical Mondays going all the way back, are you a Garfield person from way back? Did your love for Garfield, relationship with Garfield, when did it start?
So, I feel like everybody's Garfield relationship starts at birth. Your connection to the almighty orange one, of course.
Joining his world.
Yeah, for sure, which we're all just living in. But so I think that I'm one of those people that became a Garfield fan when I was in elementary school. And I remember I was a really big fan of Cats growing up. and I was at like
The
a book fair.
musical or just in
Oh,
general?
all things. Yeah.
Cool, great.
And I saw like a Garfield like a multi-pack book like at like a book fair, and I like begged my mom to buy it. Read it probably 500 times.
Fat Cat 3-pack, baby.
Oh hell yeah, 100%. It was like a Fat Cat 3-pack.
Yeah.
So like I've been connected to the Garf. I was an early adopter, and I would say he shaped my entire personality over the course of my life since then.
Solid. Did you have drip as a kid too? Were you just like Garfield, like binder, shirt, something in there, eraser, pencil?
So I unfortunately did not have the Garfield drip when I was a kid, but I've definitely tried to like level up my Garfield drip as I've grown up. Because it's important to honor the Almighty and let everybody know that you love him just as much,
Right. People walking around with, cross necklaces and nobody thinks a thing of it. Like this is my cross necklace.
I think that like, okay, so this might connect with both of you. So I feel like religion for a lot of people is one of those things that as a kid you understand is important, but you kind of figure like, oh, I'll get into that when I'm older. That's like something that as an adult I get into.
Yeah.
I'm not super concerned with mortality yet because I'm
no, 100%.
So.
Yeah, 100%. But when I'm like 30, like once my knees start clicking when I get up,
as soon as your back goes to shit, you're like, Lord, help me.
Yeah. So your cholesterol, for sure.
So it's like,
I gotta buy some crystal stat. Yeah.
It's like I definitely read Garfield growing up. I went to service, and by that I mean watching Garfield and Friends every Saturday morning.
Right. Oh yeah.
But I feel like as I've become an adult, I've really embraced the Garfield in a way that like I just didn't as a kid. He was just he had some really great lessons, he had some great commandments, but like I didn't really respond to those fully in the way that they're intended to until I'd say the past 5-6 years or so.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's been a worldwide movement, I would say, at this point. Like Garfield, I mean, we've all seen Garfield and the internet have boy, as soon as that cat logged on, it like just different personalities in different ways. Like it's nuts how
Okay,
well, just throughout
fun
time.
Fun Garfield fact. Speaking of Garfield and the internet, did you know that Gmail was originally owned by Paws Inc? Like it used to stand for Garfield Mail.
Yes.
No.
And you could go on
no idea.
You can go to gmail.com. It was basically Garfield's own email service. This is a real thing.
I think Paul, I think we talked about this like years ago. This was like when we were like early lore scraping. Yeah. Back when we used to have to go to Garfield.
Oh, when we were talking about the Gmail. Yeah, when we were talking about our Gmail address. All right. Big memories of that. Is amazing. Would Garfield respond? Sorry, it's all Garfield. Well, I don't know why I'm doing quotes. We are all Garfield. It has become something new on the internet. Would he respond to your messages?
It would be really funny. I mean, because I think it was like an email client, so it's like that's where you get your emails. It'd be really funny if there was just an implied third person CC'd on every email that you send, and that person's Garfield. He's not going to respond. He's not going to chime in on every email, but every once in a while.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the Lord in prayers, right? Like God is essentially an implied CC on all prayers.
He's always listening.
Yeah, the whole time to respond.
Yeah,
that'd be really
funny. CC'd, of course.
It'd be really funny if you send like a breakup email or something like that, and it's just like a really passionate email about just how the relationship's not working, and you just wanted to really get it out there, and then Garfield just responds with "Yikes!"
Woof.
Yeah. Oh, that would be amazing.
That'd be beautiful. Man, that's great. I'm glad you've been with him. I like the idea of it being like service in the Saturday mornings too. Like that's how I definitely approached.
Yeah.
Because also like, not to be the most millennial ever, but like back in the day when you could only watch, you had to get up and you could put one thing on Saturday mornings, right? You watched the stream that there was to watch. Like, I looked forward to Garfield. Like I looked forward to Garfield, especially, and would like get my cereal and get pumped and like sing along to the song. And that's church, baby.
It was cool too, because very much like church, it was the end. If I remember right, it was kind of the end of the block of like Saturday cartoons. So it was like you watch Garfield, you learn the lesson Garfield gives you, and then you're released out into the world to spread his.
Yeah. when like all good church services, Garfield and Friends was always paired with an episode of U.S. Acres.
Yep.
That's also something that I definitely remember going to church growing up.
It's like the B lesson. It's like the Old Testament lesson that you get. Yeah.
It's like also like don't steal so much.
Yeah, a like real straightforward morality lesson from a pig, like Sunday school. The chicken and the egg both coming at the same time. Yeah, great stuff. We're referencing church a lot. Did you grow up religious?
Yeah, so I think that I grew up, I would say, religious in the way that like a lot of people grew up religious, in that like, we would go to church every like Sunday or something like that. It was kind of like a family thing to go to church. And I think that at a certain point, like I remember when I was 10 or 11, I just complained so much about going to church because I just like wanted to play video games.
Yeah.
That my mom was just like, I'm not going to make you go to church anymore. Like I'm going to go to church, but like, I don't know, just play video games or whatever.
Yeah, sure. Like he'll come back if he wants to come back. As soon as his knees give out, you'll be back.
Totally.
You're all young and beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it was just casual though. Like you guys just went. Like it doesn't sound like you were.
Yeah. I think it kind of felt like it's like I feel like for a certain generation, going to church is just something where it's like you just kind of. I mean, I feel like people still do this on some level. It's like you kind of just go because it feels like, oh, it's Sunday. You should go to church. That seems like the good person thing to do if you want to raise good kids or whatever.
Yeah, though some of this will seep in, like some morals and values will get in there. Like they'll just drip in.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, aren't all religions really, if you get all the way down to it, just something to do? We've hunted, we've gathered, the moon is there. You guys want to sing songs about it, or can we just
Let's get together.
Except for Garfield. Garfield is not something to do. Garfield is life.
Yeah,
that's right.
Absolutely.
I'm glad someone said it.
He's in, he's out, he's there, he's around us at all times.
I mean, he is kind of.
I mean, he definitely is.
Yeah.
He is so ubiquitous. I mean, if you look, we've said it before, but like if you just look around, I mean, part of it has to do with the fact that I've been doing a Garfield podcast for 5 years, but like he's everywhere. Like if you look around, he is all over the place. I was in Target the other day and like Garfield was there.
Oh yeah.
On the backs of children, on the chests of adults, on the heads of mannequins, Garfield was there.
Yeah.
Something that I think is so funny about Garfield is that because Garfield is just so merchandised and he's a character that just exists so much like in the public consciousness.
Yeah.
If you tell people that you're friends with or if you tell people that you're a fan of Garfield, I'm sure that y'all have experienced this. People will just give you Garfield stuff all the time.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And send you endless Garfield internet pictures of anything.
Oh yeah.
Endless.
Yeah. Like I had a good friend of mine. He was like cleaning up his childhood room and stuff like that. Like his parents finally made him do it. And he had this big box of like Garfield books, Garfield, posters, Garfield action figures and stuff like that. And he didn't want to throw them away. So he just mailed them to me.
Yes.
So it's like, I just got like a bag of just like lightly used, heavily used like Garfield books
with notes written in.
There was notes in the margins. I feel like there was like ha ha ha's written in some of the scriptures. Somebody was clearly 7 at the time.
Oh,
that's rad. Here.
I was gifted those 80s painted like cups from McDonald's, the Garfield cups from like 80s.
Oh yeah, the ones that give you like lead poisoning.
Exactly. And I got them gifted from so many different people, and then all in one span of 1 week, everyone was like, "Stop drinking from the mugs." It was like, Paul, okay. I'm so sorry.
Okay,
it's too late.
Scale of 1 to 10, how much lead poisoning is in all of our veins right now?
Thank you. Exactly. At this point, it's a drop in the ocean if I drink that Garfield mug.
I'm full of rage. I ate a lot of tuna as a child. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Mom said it was good for me. Put it in a sandwich. Oh man.
Drop in the Mercury Ocean for sure.
Yeah, you just get tons of it. I do want to touch specifically. You have joined us because you specifically have thoughts on the movie, and we're tweeting trailer about it, and we're pointed our way to like come in. Like, how are you? I mean, where do you think the new movie fits like in the canon?
Where does it fit in the canon?
Yeah.
So I think that this is a rare, as we've seen in the trailer, it's a rare origin story for Garfield. We see John and Garfield meeting, which is something that honestly hasn't really even been explored in the comics as much as you'd like. So, in Bible terms, this is giving us a lot of, like the Jesus's lost years from like age 10 to age 33.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like this is really diving in to a lot of that, that like untold history of the Garf.
For sure.
For interpretation.
And then something that I think is really interesting is that I feel like this movie, we see Garfield's dad introduced by Samuel L. Jackson introduced. It does feel like we're seeing a really interesting and complicated like a proxy father story being told. Is John as Garfield's adopted father more important to him than Garfield's biological father, played by Samuel L. Jackson? In a way that I think is going to be really deep and nuanced, and something that we really expect from our Garfield storytelling.
Yes, thank you.
Really
it touches the core of being a human, really.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen him try to go back home before. There has been the Thomas Wolfe look homeward angel Garfield story has been told. He has like sought refuge in the old Italian restaurant that he was born in the comics. We met his mom and we meet some uncles. I don't think his dad pops up in any of the actual
his dad doesn't pop up
stuff penned by Jim Davis, but there's a whole lot of his like uncles and cousins being like, you're a wuss. You don't want to go rumble with the other street cat gang. And his mom being like, you got out, go back. You've got the good soft life. Go back to it.
Soul. Yeah.
So I do have a question about the new Garfield movie trailer, and I think this might blow things wide open. So I buckle up. This is probably going to be a really big conversation. So in the Garfield movie trailer, there's a moment where Garfield gets like launched out of a train, and then he hits a Garfield Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade balloon. So for me,
process that.
My question is, in the Garfield movie, does the Garfield comic strip exist? And is that a documentary about Garfield the cat's life, if he's real in this world, as he is real in our world? But, it's really, I think that, is there some metaverse things happening? It does feel like, this is just a movie that's got a lot to say.
We've talked a lot about, I am convinced at this point, looking at Garfield as much as I have, that I don't think it's a hard argument to make that Garfield is aware that he's in a comic strip. Like Garfield knows.
Oh yeah, there are a lot of times where he looks at you, the reader, and he thinks some things, but you know what he's thinking.
I think he knows we know that
it's a Garfield.
We know what he's thinking. You know, he knows that we know. Like he absolutely is aware of himself. And if you want to get real weird, I think that because Jim has like allowed Garfield to go wide, there are lots of different. Garfield behaves differently on Twitter than he does in the comic books,
and on Instagram.
He's much more like Gen Z and like hip and cool on Instagram, and he's kind of a weird old boomer on Twitter. It's very odd.
Yeah. So it's kind of
things like, this one's for the ladies on International Women's Day, and like holds out a bouquet of flowers, and you're like,
Garfield.
Yeah, it sure is, Garfield.
Well, so in that one thing that I've really been a little bit disappointed by is I feel like every Native American Heritage Month I tweeted the Garfield account, and I'm just like, make a statement about Native American Heritage Month.
But he's gonna show up with a fucking headdress on, man. It's gonna be bad.
For you guys.
Yeah, but honestly, even that I would be kind of okay with. I'd be like, hey man, you're part of the tribe at this point.
You're doing it.
Sure. I mean, he's a cat. There were cats. Do you have a specific your native heritage? Is it?
Yeah, so I'm an enrolled member of the Cowlitz Indian tribe. We're based out of like southern Washington State.
Dope. Very cool. Are there?
Yes, my people do worship Garfield.
I was going to ask that as well. I was going to ask that too.
I was just curious if there were like maybe figures in the mythology or lore there that were at all.
We did. So we have a really nice Italian restaurant that opened on top of our. We have like a hotel casino that's like about 20 minutes north of Portland. We just opened up an Italian restaurant on the roof of our hotel. And I gotta say, our lasagna is fantastic.
I
It's
guess
great.
the magic's in there.
It feels like that's how my people are honoring Garfield.
Yeah, that's good.
Is through Garfield's Italian heritage.
They're locked into the power somewhere. Yeah, man.
Oh, 100%. And like it's the tallest building in Clark County in Washington, which is, the Italian restaurant is on the roof of the building. So it's the tallest Italian restaurant probably in Washington State.
Yeah, there you go. Much like the statue of
Babel.
The higher up it is, the closer it is to Garf.
The closer it is to Garfield.
A woman's palace. Yeah.
You guys, the three of us got to go to Seattle and eat a lasagna in the Space Needle now. Like,
Don't even sell it there. You just bring a frozen lasagna.
Yeah.
What are you doing with that? Or don't worry about it. I'm honoring my native heritage. All right.
Yeah. As you're wearing a Garfield.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, to go back to the trailer question, though, I feel like it's almost like in the Spider-Verse. Like, I feel like there are all these different Garfields that exist, knowing that they all sort of exist with each other.
Yes, it's
it's that one. It's the one that
the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, sure. exactly. All different parts. And I think that the balloon would probably be the Holy Spirit, right? It's
oh God,
that
implication here is that the Lord has chosen Chris Pratt to come as his son, and
that's correct. He is the son in this movie,
and remake everything.
Yeah.
There's one thing we know about Chris Pratt. He's real chill about religious stuff. So
super mellow.
Yeah. Not amped up ever.
Yeah. He hasn't gotten hopped up on Arnold Schwarzenegger proximity and the Lord at all.
Yeah, if we said you are the voice of God and God is Garfield, he'd be like, sick.
Yeah. Can I just do my normal voice? Is it cool if I also just do my normal voice?
It's like, that was I feel like that was implied with the ask.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I watched it a couple times and I was like, I don't know, man. I mean, at his heart, I think all the way under, if you get back down to like pure Andy Dwyer, Chris Prattness, like just like a chill dude is in there, and that's pretty Garfieldy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I gotta say, like all things Garfield, the casting choice is perfection, and I will not allow slander against it.
Yeah. All right. Sweet.
Samuel L. Jackson being in there is pretty fantastic, especially as that character that they created for him. This like huge cat. It's great. He's punching people off things.
When I gotta say, like the art style, I think that's something that I don't like about some. Okay, so gasp moment. Something I don't like about some Garfield media. Apologies, steal yourselves.
You're allowed.
Is that I feel like some Garfield media does not like Garfield. Like I feel like the Bill Murray Garfield films. I don't think that they were coming with like a real love for the character.
Yeah.
And I will say that like the new Garfield trailer, it really does feel like the art style is fantastic. It looks like the film version of the comic strip. It does feel like there's like real love for the character that we all share, and I feel like it's just cool to see that.
I agree with that.
They're coming at it from a place, and at that point, I'll forgive a lot if you're coming at anything from a place of reverence and love, and like I want to add to it and like do things because like you say, Garfield, a lot of the properties don't love Garfield, and some of them like don't even care. And this is again how like the idea of Garfield sort of like has permeated a lot of culture. We were talking about this long ago. When they made an NES game for Garfield, Nintendo just licensed Garfield, and they were like, all right, Garfield's big, it's going to do a thing. And they just took a Garfield sprite and slapped him on a hamburger making game. So in the original NES game, you've got now, which is now like in popular culture, right? It's there. Garfield making hamburgers, like it's as fast as he can, or like an evil ketchup thing kills him. Yeah. And like
I'm just saying, Garfield can do all. So it all makes sense to me. Yeah.
I mean, he clearly can. Like he does. You can win that game. You can ask Garfield make hamburgers all the way to the top. But like I think it's nice to see something that does look like it wants to be part of the Garfield like conversation, part of the
the conversation which we're all having at all times.
At all times. Well, speaking of
even the thing right before it though, the Netflix show was like it was a little uninspired and like animation style. It was freaky. You guys know what I'm talking about? The
Garfield show.
Yeah, the Garfield is just
So I will say the Garfield show is really interesting to me in that that was made by a French animation company. Like that show was made in Europe, and I feel like it exists outside of Garfield canon. I think that is a situation like you mentioned with the Garfield NES game, where it feels like Garfield was just licensed and the characters were licensed.
Right.
But
And they like skinned like it's just like a TV show and we've just slapped a Garfield costume on it.
Yeah, because it does feel like, I don't think that he likes lasagna as much in that show. He drinks a lot of coffee. Like it does feel like there's just a couple of things where it's like, this is definitely Garfield created from a culture that does not worship Garfield in the same way that we do.
Yes, well, and they've also kind of historically been harmed by Garfield in a way when there was this Times article, like pre-pandemic, I think.
Oh, the phone thing?
The phones. And that was a French cave and a French beach. So they've almost been they have a complicated history with the Garfield being forced upon them.
They've been given a Garfield gift, and I guess they just turned down a gift from the Almighty.
They turned it down.
You can receive it or not. Knocking the door shall be open to you, France.
Yeah.
You want an ocean container that gets washed off of a ship that's full of 7,000 Garfield phones?
Yeah. Is this a sign? Yes.
Yeah. Clearly.
Oh, man.
Well, I have one more
Garfield's calling with 7,000 different phones. Will you answer?
Yeah, exactly.
The call is coming from inside your whole country. Answer the phone.
We are knocking on the door. Shall it be open unto you? I have one more question about the Garfield trailer. What do you think about the babyfication, the baby Yoda, the baby Peanut? What do you think about bringing Garfield into baby Garfield for a portion of the movie?
So I think that it's a wise choice. I think that talking about Christianity and stuff like that, there is oftentimes an effort to adapt Jesus to the times that he's in. So it's like I feel like if you have a cool pastor, they'll give Jesus a skateboard, that kind of thing.
For sure.
And I think that sometimes you do have to you do have to do that to show people who's really in charge.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a situation with Garfield where it's like I think that the powers that be up above definitely saw people getting tempted away from the Garf with characters like Baby Yoda, and they were like, oh, you want a baby? What about
Baby Garfield? Hell yeah.
And then everybody's like, oh,
we love it.
Well, the Ninja Turtles
you've been returned to
beautified.
Yeah. And it's thank you for returning to the melted cheese warmth of Garfield.
Yeah.
They're just trying to save kids from hell. That's the purpose of that babyfied Garfield.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Because I was trying to review some of the other baby characters. I didn't realize that Baby Peanut was born out of the Kool-Aid Man's tears. It's a beautiful origin story. I just have to say this is unrelated to Garfield, but please rewatch the Super Bowl commercial for Baby Nut. I think it's not even Baby Peanut, it's just Baby Nut. And he's born out of Mr. Kool-Aid crying over Mr. Peanut's grave. It is insane. I just want to plug that real quick. That's all. Mr. Peanut, fan of the show. Yeah.
I know what I'm doing this afternoon now. That's incredible.
I do have to say, not enough commercial brands have funerals for their mascots on the TV.
I know. During the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
So good.
Planners, not cowards. Say what you will about those peanuts.
Yeah.
They had the bravery. Yeah. Oh man. I would like to see. I guess we kill those Charmin bears. I'd watch that funeral.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'm trying to think of the Noid. The Noid never got a send off, but he did come back. Christ-like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it's probably time for us to do the thing that we do and to connect directly with Garfield, right? For a moment, we've talked about him enough. Before we go to Gawcomics.com, do you have, Joey, anywhere in your life that you're specifically seeking wisdom at the moment?
So I think that in the times of Garf that we're going through right now, I'm going through a lot of turmoil, and I would say kind of a test of faith in that I am seeing a lot of a lot of people commenting about this Garfield trailer, saying things like, maybe Chris Pratt's not the right guy to voice him. Maybe this is just a cash grab and there's not a lot of love for the character. Maybe it's not that great. So I guess that the information that I really want to ask the great Garf is, how heavily is the Garfield movie going to sweep the awards season?
Yes.
I
Yes.
think I think we know it's going to
Sure.
show the non-believers that there is one true Garf.
Sure, absolutely.
But to what level is that?
We all know that that's famously the best way to win Oscars. It's like, I'll put Kirk Cameron in it, and we'll do Left Behind, and we'll show the non-believers.
Yeah,
the Academy will love us.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of people that they were like, oh, the Passion of the Christ won a lot of awards. I guess I love Jesus again.
I guess Jesus
if
again.
it sells, ship it.
That's what I needed. Hyper violence. That's brought me back to the church. Yes. Well, let's see. Here we are at gawcomics.com. We can give the mighty face a little wink up here. Hi, buddy. How you doing?
Gatekeeper. Yes.
And we'll just go down here, and we're gonna bring up a random comic. If everyone would center themselves, watching, listening, wherever you are, in the past, in the future, doesn't matter. We're all here together right now as one in Garf, and we ask thee, oh great field, how you gonna sweep the awards season? Random comic. All right.
Oh, 2009. Oh, wow. All right. This is a pretty straightforward. This is good. April 13th, 2009.
I mean,
solid.
Sometimes when we ask Garfield things, we get a very straightforward, incredibly beautiful answer. I do love that we all together at the beginning of the show did summon Garfield still in bed.
Very true.
Man,
for sure.
He's asleep in the first panel, the biggest Z ever. I love just one Z.
Yeah.
Gen Z, right? He's speaking directly to Z. Listen, I'm under here. And the second panel, Garfield stands up
with the blanket still on his head.
And thinks to himself, still dark.
So my question looking at this is that I'm going to read this two different ways. I think that one way to read it is that this is 3 panels. As we know, there are 4 different awards in an EGOT, the Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and the Tony Award. As I do not believe that there's currently a Garfield musical that's on Broadway. I think
it does exist. It has been written,
but has not been onto Broadway yet.
So my suspicion is that this is going to win. That the Garfield feature film is going to win the Emmy, the Grammy, and the Oscar.
Okay.
But there's another way to read it, which is a Z has 1, 2, 3, 4 points. If there are 4 corners to the Z, and we see the Z twice, which is really speaking to me.
Sure.
So maybe the Tony Award people will just be like, look, it's not a play, but like the Garfield movie deserves a Tony Award.
Dialogue also for Zig and Zag, right? Like it's like they'll give a pre-Tony. Like we haven't done this before. It's not a straight path to the Tony. It's an odd.
We were so moved by the Tony Award.
That there will be a Tony, so we're gonna go ahead and give you one.
It's the end of the alphabet. It's kind of the end of the journey for the award season. It completes the whole thing. I think it's very clear. Yes, I think also it's going to be a sleeper. I think it's going to be a sleeper hit. It's kind of what I'm getting from this.
Like some people don't think it's going to be a hit, but boy, are they wrong.
Well, they're still in the dark, right? Like they got up and looked around, but like, I mean, this is in the middle panel. I think we're looking at like a lot of the non-believers that are still in their like proverbial platonic cave, right?
Sure.
It's still dark. You're just like a bird that has like had a thing dropped over his head. Still dark. I look around and I see nothing. Nothing has been given to me. But like you go down, he goes right back to sleep. And that's sort of a trusting of the things outside of the cave to go on as they should, to give the awards where they know the award should be given. So even if you don't think, I'm in the dark, I've made some assumptions about what is and isn't based on just the inside of this musty lasagna fart riddled blanket.
Yeah.
And like just go right back to sleep and let the awards take care of themselves because they know who deserves credit.
That's so true. And it's Garfield flexing too, just like saying he's 100% confident that what is happening outside the cave will continue happening as Garfield has intended. You know,
Yeah,
he's such a force.
And I think that there is some information on this that I feel like it can be missed by some people, which is on the right side, it says Jim Davis's name, which, you know, Jim Davis's name will presumably be on the awards that he's going to win. And there's also the numbers 413, which tells me it's going to win 413 awards.
Wow. Yes.
Jim Davis's name is going to be on 413 trophies.
Yes.
I love that. There's no doubt in my mind that there are 413 winnable awards. That,
it's like, at that point, it's just like Nobel Prizes. It's like, you know,
give them a Fulbright. We don't know why, but like, let them have it.
I'd buy Jim Davis getting a Fulbright scholarship.
Sure.
If you want a McCarthy grant, it's yours.
It's yours. You're a genius.
And it goes like the other way too. Like it's the Paws Inc. Employee of the Month as well. You know, that Jim Davis does win a lot. It's got to be that too. It's got to be both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, just give him the Super Bowl trophy.
Just
he deserves it.
Yeah, go all the way. Yeah.
I'm looking for original music right now from the new Garfield movie for it to be able to win.
I bet there's at least a credit song, right?
There's gotta be, and I'm looking for Garfield the movie trailer song, "Fly As Me."
Perfect. Give it the Grammy.
All right, let's see. I think I can share it, and we can all experience this together. Have y'all
this Grammy-winning, future Grammy-winning song?
I mean, okay.
You heard it here first, y'all. Yeah.
I believe I can share this too. Here we go. Stop that screen and start another one. So this is "Fly As Me" by, looks like Bruno Mars is giving us hell yeah, right?
All right.
Bruno Mars is giving us giving us some new music. Can we share? Yeah, add to stage. Here we go. I think the sound will come through. My excellent pro streaming moves. Can y'all hear this?
Oh yeah. Nice, like goofy, like little boing at the beginning. Solid start.
Demonetizing our stream. Oh yeah. I do love the idea that Garfield's straight up funky appeals to me, right? The Sam Jackson edition is there.
He's definitely doing a strut right now, like down the street.
Yeah, as we know, Garfield is a very mobile character who often struts.
Yeah, he's doing finger guns like across town right now, right?
I gotta say, if this song was played in church, we wouldn't be seeing the drop in church numbers that people.
No, hell no, dude. It would be like Sister Act 5 up in this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Sign me up for Sister Act 4, dude.
Yeah.
Sister Act 4. We're Garfing it. And it's Garfield.
It's a Garfield church.
Garfield sees his mob boyfriend shooting someone, so he's got to go hide in a nunnery.
Yeah. It's called Bad Habits, right? It's called Bad Habits. Yeah.
Perfect. I mean, pretty good. I think that's I mean, they love giving Bruno awards, so yeah, I think it's absolutely reasonable to think.
It's not a prophecy; it's just the truth.
Yeah,
yeah,
just what's gonna happen, man.
That's great.
Hell yeah! Well, I'm looking forward to all these awards it's gonna win, and all the haters can just stay under their blankets, I guess.
Yeah.
And all the haters, no lasagna for you.
No, none at all. Oh man.
Believers.
Let's look at it one more time. I'm going to pull it back up just so we can look at the beauty of the comic. Or am I just gonna add this again? Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
okay. So he's bad. He's bad at this. Wow.
What's the story of him becoming good?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just grooving now, which is like really
really tuning into the lyrics here. Yeah, for sure.
Oh man, that's great. Yeah. It's Anderson .Paak too, like Silk Sonic, which does it now. Bootsy Collins is officially part of the Garfield canon, which I love.
I mean, that was implied the whole time.
Yeah. He's got the cosmic connection like down.
It's Bootsy, baby. Yeah, he sees stars and loves lasagna and slaps funky bass. And like, if that's not Garfield, what is?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Well, this has been great. I'm looking forward to. Sometimes it's just a real straightforward. We ask, "Hey, how are you going to do it?" And Garfield's like, "I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna win 413 awards, zigging and zagging. Everybody who doesn't see it coming,
put up the counter, throw that, bet that money in Vegas because like it's just gonna happen.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
put all of your money on this.
Yes, put all your money on it. If anything goes wrong, just remember we told you this. The whole bank account.
every single dollar. Thank you, Bootsy. Bootsy, you'll get us there. Oh man. Well, I mean, Joey, thanks so much for being here. Have we missed anything? Do you have any like Garfield proselytizing you'd like to do to the world at large who's all listening to our sweet podcast?
So I guess that if there's anything that I want to leave everybody with, it's that Garfield is life, Garfield is love, Garfield is always with you. Peace and lasagna with you.
Oh man, Lasagnaste unto thee and thine. Yeah, man. Dang. Well, that's amazing. Thank you so much again, Joey Clift, for joining us. Spirit Rangers, right, is what everybody should be watching. That's what we're nominated for Emmys for.
Oh yeah. Everybody check out Spirit Rangers. It's a show as a writer, consultant, producer on Netflix. It's nominated for 7 Emmy Awards. It's a very fun kids show.
Oh yeah.
And let's just say in season 2, maybe there's a character that shows up that's a little inspired by Garfield.
Drag.
I mean, if Garfield isn't a Spirit Ranger, I don't know what he is. But you just snuck Garfield in, like backdoored him in.
So there's an episode where our main characters meet a bunch of kittens, and it was very important to me that one of the kittens be orange with black stripes.
Yes.
Like I gave very intense notes on that, really earning my producer credit. That's why I'm Emmy nominated.
Was there pushback, or did people like in the room? Did people know what you were going for?
I don't think that there was pushback. I think I was just very loud and passionate. They were like, "Hey, we're not fighting you on making him orange with black stripes." And I was like, "You don't understand."
Yeah. Can you give me a Monday in there? Can you give me one Monday?
Yeah. Look, I tried real hard. It was in the script. They removed my Monday, but like I really wanted him to say he didn't like Mondays.
Oh man, that's
fantastic.
Glorious. Well, bless you for spreading the word and for keeping that. I also just love we have talked. There was a time when I think the Garfield culture got really dark with the internet. Like he got on the internet, and right as we all get on the internet, things get weird. And there was the "I'm sorry, John," and the idea that Garfield was this indiscriminate consumption machine that just wanted to eat everything. Yeah. And I think, as we've said earlier, like there's no love. There's no love for him in that. And I love that you're here with us, helping to go like, no, this is a beautiful cat. It's a beautiful man who just wants us all to eat lasagna and chill and be cool.
Yep. Jim Davis' greatest creation. He's what I base all of my life choices on.
And you should too, listeners and viewers. Smash that like button and come back next Monday morning for another help in a Mystic Lasagna. Thanks a lot. Again, I am at @RAlexMurray all over the internet. The show is at Mystic Lasagna all over the internet. Paul.
Pashy all over the internet, y'all. It's Missing Sock Network. Check it out. Good stuff from the past coming in the future.
Joe, you got handles you want to drop?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Check me out on Twitter, Blue Sky, and TikTok at Joeytainment, and then Joey Clift with 5 or 6 eyes on Instagram and Threads. A 12-year-old took Joey Clift with 1 eye, so I just had to deal.
I read it when I was like, I tag you in things as Joey Clift, and I like the idea of like
that is what I was typing, and I was like, oh, it is fun to say the eye a bunch.
Yeah, like Goofy getting pushed off of a ledge.
Oh yeah.
Pretty great. All right, well, until next time, friends. Let's see. Come out from under your blankets.
Don't be scared to be a sleeper hit.
Kick a yellow dog off a table.
Lasagnaste. And